All right. All right. Here we go. We're on live. Are we on live? Yeah, we're on live. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my live on YouTube. So today, we're going to talk about we're going to explain about the New Year's Eve. So the New Year's Eve is on the 31st of December. So the last year of So this is the last month of the year. So this is the last day of the month in a year. Yeah. So basically, what I was trying to think is we're gonna explain what is New Year's Eve and why do we know about the New Year's Eve. So it tells you here. So as you can see, it's basically it's on the Thursday, the 31st of December, 2020. So this is the final day of the Gregorian. So the Gregorian calendar. So I thought it says I don't know. I think so. I don't know, but maybe. So the New Year's Eve is a Gregorian. So this is the final. So it will be a final day of the Gregorian year. So on the 31st of December. So what are we going to think about? And what is the New Year's Eve? So we're going to explain this on this risk. So in the Gregorian calendar, New Year's Eve, the last day of the year, is on the 31st of December. In many countries, New Year's Eve is celebrated in even parties where many people dance, eat, drink, and watch or light fireworks. Some Christians attend a watch night service. So if you want to know this, so you can basically looking at some new topics. So on the topic of this New Year's Eve, you may find this particular on a New Year's Eve. So it tells you on the Wikipedia that it says on a Christmas Eve. So you can see here, and you can look at it, and as you can see, you can check it on the Wikipedia. So I'll put the link in the description so you guys can click on it and what is in New Year's Eve stands for. So you can go and check it out. You can go and click on the in the link in the description. So then you can always look at it. So if you want to make the real statement, so if you want to make a statement, so let's see how the Christmas Eve we're doing. So you may not notice that this is the other ways we're doing. So you may not know how the Christmas Eve is still coming. What I was trying to think about it, and you might want to see the Christmas Eve. So I'm going to put in the link in the description so you can. So you can view the Wikipedia, and it tells you about the New Year's Eve. So if you want to, just making sure that you're going to go and click on the link in the description. So it says click on the link to view the Wikipedia about the New Year's Eve. So you can find out what is a New Year's Eve and why do they celebrate it. So it's a question. It's a tough question. You may not notice, and it's a scene. So don't ever. So if you guys have any questions, so if you might want to check it on somewhere, if you want to check on the Wikipedia. So it will be the last day of the year in the modern Western calendar, 31st of December. So on the New Year's Eve, it's on the 31st of December, so it's on New Year's Eve. So in the Gregorian calendar, so you can find out when it's the New Year's Eve and why do they celebrate it. So you may notice that, for some of the reasons, the reason why I've just never been here recently. So recently it's particular live. So we're on live. So yeah, so we're basically on live on YouTube. Yeah. We've got one like here. So yep. Okay. In a Gregorian calendar, New Year's Eve, aka Old Year's Day or Saint Sylvester's Day in many countries. The last day of the year is on 31st. Okay, I've already read it. So the celebrations generally go on past midnight into New Year's Day on 1st of January. So if you not know about this particular in the century, so in the century, it doesn't believe that it doesn't matter of why do you think it was the celebration. So why do they have to celebrate New Year's Eve? The Line Islands and Tonga are examples of the first places to welcome the new year, while Baker Island, this is where it's been highlighted, an uninhabited atoll part of the United States minor outlying islands, and American Samoa, don't know what that is, are among the last. So you can see the picture of one of a New Year's Eve. So as you find it, so it's been a long time ago that it's been taking so long. So yeah, in the next time on a date is, so on this date, it will be on the schedule. It's on the 31st of December, so when it's the New Year's Eve. So you can see here, and then you can look at it, and as you find something real hard. If it's not hard, so don't worry about it, so it doesn't matter. Right, if you have any questions, so you can ask me about, so if you want to tell me about the Christmas Eve, you can write on the live chat, and yeah, and safe and sound. Yeah, whatever you want, whatever you like. And also, you can always want to do as you wish for. So I don't know why. So believe me or not. Okay. For some of the reasons that if you want to check on the New Year's Eve, so it tells you on the Wikipedia, make sure to click on the link in the description. So you may find out about the New Year's Eve. So go and check it out and click on the link in the description below. Ooh, who is this gentleman? I don't know. I don't understand this guy here. I'll have to try. Okay. Ooh, what is this thing? I don't even know. Okay. Hello there. Hello. How are you doing today? I'm very good. How are you today? And then I don't really understand this language, but I do not understand. This is kind of hard. All good. All good, huh? Oh, great. So how did this damn happen? I think this man is from India. Well, I don't think so. let me just copy this particular. Right. Right. By the way, we need to know what is a Christmas Eve and why do they celebrate. So, if you guys know what do they what those people why do people celebrate the New Year's Eve? So you can write on a live chat and then explain. So I will explain when we need to know. So New Year's Eve, yeah, it tells you on the Wikipedia. So here are the details on some of those, all those information above the New Year's Eve. You can see on the picture here, and you can see all the details, all the information here, so you might find it, yeah? So the other ways you find it's you can find something real fast. So for some reason, if you know about the fascinated, so you may find whatever you found. So if you found something real good, so yeah, so Christmas Eve is on the 31st of December. So New Year's Eve on 31st of December explained. So we're going to explain and about the New Year's Eve. So this is the last day of the Gregorian year on the 31st. But I have to mention that this is not the other ways we're doing. So depending on what these societies were done. So if I was taking care, but no one will answer me the question I've just said. If anyone who couldn't answer my question, so basically make sure to write on the chat and then you can answer my question about so what I've just asking you earlier. So what is a New Year's Eve and why do they celebrate? So it tells you here, so you can see New Year's Eve is celebrated at evening parties, so you can see it. So yeah. So the reason why the Gregorian parties were celebrating the New Year's Eve, so they were celebrated because the New Year's Eve are celebrated by the Gregorian parties. So by the parties, parties were celebrating on New Year's Eve. It's on, so they've been so the New Year's Eve is celebrated at evening parties. So as you can tell here, so you can always find out why do they celebrate it. So you don't need to make it up. You can make it up. You can always do whatever you want to. So on on New Year's Eve, yeah, you can find out more about it. So as you can see, I've got loads of handiworks, and I cannot just explain how that this is gonna happen. So yeah, I do not know, and for some of the reasons I've basically found out, it's the real thing to do is to make the real stories like this. So you can always tell that the reason why we do not have to tell. So the other ways we're doing it's a certain ways out. So we do not know when is it Christmas or when is it New Year's Eve. I had to tell, so we don't have to make everything up so much. And what I was thinking is now we're going to explain how it's going to happen. So yeah, for some of the reasons you may not know or may not noticed that, it should be on by now. So for some reason on a Christmas Eve, you may find for some of those who didn't. So I tried to check on here. So as you can see here, I have to bring it back for some reason. So for the reason why I find some of those images that contained a lot of few things already. So when I was trying to think of why is this celebrating on Christmas Eve, so on a New Year's Eve, I know it's been finished for the whole day, so I've never been finished the whole time. So yeah, for some of the reasons I've tried on my social network. So yeah, what I was trying to thinking of. So I was trying to think, why do we why do they been why did the New Year's Eve is celebrated by evening pies? Maybe it's at midnight or something. Maybe it's a midnight stream or something reason. I think what I was doing is it's particular thing, but it does not give any other information that doesn't give me an explanation about the New Year's Eve. So it tells you here. So what is a New Year's Eve? Why does the New Year's Eve is celebrated? So as you can see here, but I don't think anyone couldn't do that if I were you. So if I were you now, it's the certain thing we're doing. It's for what we wished for. We don't wish for getting out of this at all time. So yeah, I don't believe it. So when I was trying to for like whatever you want to, so whoever they say it's particular ways, you know, don't worry about me. So you don't have to worry about for what they needed. So yeah, I tried to do my research because I don't think anyone couldn't be busy. So like when I feel busy about this, so I kind of feel busy. So okay, so when I was trying to feel busy, it's the certain ways we're doing. So yeah, I was trying to avoid the consciousness. So I have to avoid the consciousness for no reason. So yeah, to keep that in mind, I have to make another stuff from my video on YouTube. So yeah, I had to say, but yeah, but there's no way I can get away from this. So all right, so on this evening, so we might want to get the all those resources. So we have to get the resource of this particular. So what we were just trying to discuss about the New Year's Eve. So particularly, there is no other reason why they have been celebrated the New Year's Eve. So yeah, forget about the stuff, forget about this stuff, and then let's just carry on with our on New Year's Eve. So yeah, for some of the reasons, the reason why it's been a whole time for getting out of this. So what I was trying to do is to keep myself safe. For instance, I don't think anyone who couldn't do that, whoever reason is, it's like we don't think. Actually, if I do know about the New Year's Eve, it couldn't be difficult. It's very difficult to. It's very hard to tell. It tells you the stories about the Christmas on New Year's Eve. We've already had this time, so we've already made everything up. So the other ways we're doing it, all those particulars on the other men we're doing. So I don't know what's going on. So let's just forget about it. I'll tell you what. I think anyone who could do it as they wish. So we do not think what we're trying to do, it's to make it up as we wish. I don't think anyone couldn't do that if I were you, but yeah. Let's just make it up and see if we can make this up. So we are not allowed to provide any other assistance. So I know it's not been occupied for some reason. I think it's on the New Year's Eve. Yeah, but the New Year's Eve is not on here, so I don't think anyone couldn't do that if I were you. Right. Oh, there are different countries. So whereabouts is it? In Singapore, in Indonesia, Hogmanay, Kalanig, I don't know, all of these countries around the world during the New Year's Eve. But to begin with, I don't think anyone who could make so significance the final day of the Gregorian year and a celebration reflection, late night partying, family gatherings, feasting, gift exchanges, fireworks, countdowns, watch night services, social gatherings during which participants may dance, eat, consume alcoholic beverages, and watch or light fireworks. So here are the celebrations that the Gregorian celebrates. So yeah, I've already read all of these information on the New Year's Eve on a Wikipedia. I tried to explain how this is going to be often. So we do not wrote on a New Year's Eve. So yeah, I was trying to make it up or something, but I really realized when it works. So I actually work it on. So work it in or work it on something. You may or may not notice that you didn't know that this is kind of real bad actually. So maybe it's in the United States of America. So maybe some of the reasons are even Canada. Well, maybe Canada, something like that. Canadian American. So Canadian American or something. Well, it's kind of too busy right now, but I'm kind of busy, but I kind of busy for some reason. So at the moment, I have to make another statement. So I have to tell something. Okay, I think so. Yeah. Okay. But the reason why we try to stop this, but I have to too interesting. But let me just move the webcam just a bit. So yeah. Right, I can see it better. So yeah, what I was going to say. Okay, for some of the reasons that we need to know, for what it takes and what it not takes. So it doesn't been so long. So when it's a New Year's Eve, so don't worry about it. But it's just the only ways we're doing it. So you don't have to make it up for some reason. If you don't want to celebrate the New Year's Eve, why not? Neither. Both. If you want to get everything, just get them both and don't get involved for some reason. So actually, if it's not, well, we need to know about the New Year's Eve. So the New Year's Eve, it's the last day of the year. It's the final day of the Gregorian year of the 2020. So by the end of 2020, after New Year's Eve, it will be on the 1st of January 2021. So yeah, so on the leap year, it's next 4 years on the February the 29th. It's on the February 2024. So it's on the leap year. So on the leap year, it's on the 366 days in a leap year because it's on the 4 days in a 2024 on the February. So it's on the 4 years. So on the 4 years, it says on the February the 29th, 2024. So it'll be more difficult to ask. So yeah. When I was going to think about it, so what we can think about for what we need to do is to make it quick. Oh yeah. Also, if I would have to say, but don't believe if I was getting out of this. So for some reason, I don't think anyone couldn't do it if I were you. But it just the thing is that we do not have to think about it. So to be thinking of, we will allow to speak in a different ways that we need to make a speech for the New Year's Eve. So forget about it. So forget it. You don't really have to remember things or don't even think about it. So yeah. Yeah, when it's finished it on the 6:45, so I might have to finish it off explaining about the New Year's Eve. So yeah, I've already checked it on Google, and I just clicked on the link on the highlighted Wikipedia. So it tells you on this thing here. So on the new article, so you can see on the article, it's about the Gregorian calendar. So it's a Gregorian calendar. New Year's Eve is the Gregorian calendar. So it's the final day of the year on the 31st of December. So on the Happy New Year's Eve, so on the New Year's Eve or something. So next, it will be Happy New Year on the January the on the 1st of January 2021. So I hope it's going to be a new one comes out. So the new one's going to be coming out next year. So when the COVID-19 will be gone next year. So then I have to manage to get everything up already. So let's just focus on what we doing in the next few days, or in the next, well, so what we are going to do, guys, is we wish to get lots of stuff already. So yeah, actually, yeah, I've already have one. Yeah, actually, never mind. So by the way, the problem is that the New Year's Eve is the Gregorian calendar. So it's because one of these people who celebrates the New Year's Eve, so the Gregorian calendar celebrates the New Year's Eve. So it's on the 31st of December 2020. So yeah, it's 2020. So for some reason. So I'm trying to think about it. So for some of the reasons, the reason why it doesn't make everything happen. So yeah, I only get everything what it seems to be like about the for some of the reasons that we're doing. So let's just, to be honest, then we're just gonna say, yeah, well, let's just say if it's forever. If it's forever, it's forever. So don't believe me. So yeah, I have to tell, but this is kind of weird actually. We're gonna see one of these people here. So we got this chat here. So we've got on this live chat on this list. So we got Ajay Powell or something. I don't know. I don't really understand this language, so I've already translated to English because I don't even understand this language, because it says that two words that it says are there, so that means, and then in Hindi, I don't know, Sabahaya, so that means all good in Hindi. Well, I do really understand a bit, but I do not know this particular user, but I'll just ignore this one for some reason. Anyway, so what are we going to do is we're going to explain how this is going to happen. So yeah, let's just forget about what is New Year's Eve and why do they celebrate. Yeah, I've already just repeated, so I've already just explained about this. So yeah, make sure to like this video. Yeah, go for it. If you want to like, just like, subscribe, and write a comment, and turn notification, and stay up to date on my channel. So yep, and this all do. So yeah, I have to say it's particular ways we doing as we speak. So we speaking in which, and so you do not have to make the meanings of where we just stay up to date, and then we can stay up to date from my channel. So basically what you are trying to do is to solve whether it's not even, tell you what, and let's just say you don't really have to make it up, and then just the ways you're doing it, and depends what you saw or what you've not saw for some reason. So you don't really have to do this or something like that. So yeah, I have to say, when it doesn't feel exhausted, it doesn't feel a bit unpleasant to it. Maybe it's a pleasant tax or something, I think. Yeah, I have to say. So by the way, guys, I got to go now, so I've already explained everything. So yeah. Okay, thanks for watching, people, and I will see you guys in the next few years. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next few years. So on the 31st of December. So I'm going to explain, and please leave a like, subscribe. So drop down a like and hit the subscribe button, turn notification, and write a comment. And that's it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the 31st of December, New Year's Eve, on Friday. Yeah, yeah. No, on Thursday. Yeah, on Thursday the 31st. So yeah, I'll see you on Thursday, people, and I hope you stay safe, stay home, stay safe, and stay strong, and control the virus. And yeah, and I'll see you guys on the 31st. So see you guys.